Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this.
Yo, peace family. Peace family. Hold on, I lost the brother Kadar. He'll be back in here. I hope everybody's doing alright. Shalom and blessings. I know I only see one person in here. How you doing? Peace and blessings, family. Hey, bro, I lost you for a second there.
Yeah. I went out and came back in.
Yeah. So I just for this quick hitter, real quick. Me and the brother was having a conversation, and the question came up: what is a Christian, right? And the reason why that question came up because we was looking at this one scripture here. Let me share my screen real quick. Let me share my screen on this real quick, right? So, in First Peter's, right? First Peter's 4:16 says, "Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf." All right. Say that one more time for me, brother. What did it say again? Say it one more time.
Let us not be ashamed, but glorify God on this behalf.
Right? All right, hold on real quick. Let me close my window real quick. Now, something's not adding up here. You know, something's not adding up, right? It said, "Let you not be ashamed if you suffer as a Christian," right? So that means that the Christian would no doubtly be a derogatory term, right? It'd be a derogatory term. That would mean it would be a byword, right? It would be something to be ashamed of being called, right? But what doesn't add up is this: when you read the meaning of the word Christ or the title Christ, right? Because it's not a last name; it's a title, right? It says Christ comes from the Greek word Christos, meaning anointed one. The word is derived from the Greek verb kreo, meaning to anoint. In the Greek Septuagint, Christos was used to translate the Hebrew to the Hebrew Messiah, meaning one who is anointed. All right. So here's the question I have for Christians, right? What is so derogatory, or what is the negative attachment to the word Christian? Why is it viewed as a negative term in First Peter's 4:16 when the meaning of it doesn't suggest anything of the such? To be anointed, that's not a word to be ashamed of. All right, and that's why we as Israelites we dig deeper into certain things. Right now, that's what it says Christos means on that end, right? And we understand they will call other things also. Now let's grab something, because all right, so they will call Christians another place too, right? Mm-hmm. Now let's grab that. I'm gonna share my screen. Right? Let me share this again. All right, so it says in Acts 11:26, "And when he had found him, he brought him to Antioch. And it came to pass that the whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch." So this is where it all went down. This is where they first started being called that, right? Now, here's where you have to study and show yourself approved. All right? We know the meaning of Christian, says anointed one or follower of the anointed one. We know that there's no negative condensation attached to being called someone who follows the anointed one. But let's go to Acts 13 and 1. Let's take a look at what Acts 13 and 1 says. Because remember, in Antioch, they were first called Christians in Antioch. Right? Acts 13 and 1 says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas, Simeon, that were called Niger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. All right, so we have them being called Christians in Antioch, and we also have them being called Niger in Antioch. But which one was it? Right? When you look up the word Niger, right, which you can find in the Greek 35:26, this is what it says. It says now, and I've been saying Niger for the point of people understanding, but in all actuality, when you look at the pronunciation of this word down here at the Greek, hold on, let me make this bigger. When you look at the pronunciation of the word Niger, right, or what they call Niger, what do you see? You see Neeger. So in all actuality, you're not getting a long I sound of it. You're getting a long E sound out of it, which would have it pronounced as Niger. All right? Now, why is that important? Because the meaning of this word Niger says of Latin origin, black, Niger, a Christian. All right, so here's the issue, right? According to the definition of Niger, Christian and Niger are one and the same. But we know that Niger means black. So let me ask you a question. Which one would be more condescending for someone to be dying as, a Niger or a Christian? Which one would be more shameful to die as, a Niger or a Christian? Which one were the Israelites that were brought over into this country dying as, Negers or Christian? Were these Ku Klux Klan men and white supremacists that were lynching our people? Were they acknowledging them as Christians, or were they calling them Negers? Right? So there's no new thing under the sun. So a lot of times people bring this Christian thing into the spirit, and it has nothing to do with us as Israelites. That word Niger was the derogatory term. We never called each other Christians. We never called each other Niger. Those were bywords used by the enemy to degrade us, to subject our nationality, or how can I say it? Negate our nationality and relegate it to a color. To relegate your nationality to a color. Instead of calling you an Israelite, they called you a Niger. All right? Why do we only see Christianity 3 times within this book? Why we only see it in the New Testament? Right? Because it was first called that in Antioch. Who was calling them that? Were they calling each other that? Did he just all of a sudden decide to stop calling themselves Israelites? You tell me which one has more value. The name that the Most High gave you, that he surnamed you, meaning this is part of his name, right? Or the byword that another man gave you, that a heathen gave you, right? But our people want to hold on to that name. They want to hold on to that title. Well, what's your thoughts on that, Brother Kadar?
Yes, our people, they coming out of Christianity, but they want to hold on to it. And so they get on the defense when you do say, why you want to call yourself a Christian? Just like you went into the dictionary, the Strong's G, prove that it means, Niger, which they spell it with pronunciation of Niger. But anyway, one thing about this Christian thing is that our people feel like they are somebody when they call themselves a Christian. I mean, I really don't understand. I do understand the ones that haven't waken up. I'm talking about the ones that have waken up, that know that they're the true Israelites of the Bible. And we read in Hosea chapter 2, you start at verse 12, go 12, 13, 14, it tells you, you know, it wants you to the Most High is telling us to come back to Him to get out of these false religions. So why would you want to call yourself a man-made name that basically was a derogatory term? He didn't want to call you by your real name, so they called you, nigger, which means Christian. It's one and the same. That's why you read in 1 Peter 4:16, if you suffer as a Christian, well, you take that word out and say, if you suffer as a nigger, do it unto Christ. And basically that's what Peter was saying. So yeah, I just pray and hope that our people come out of that and realize that we are a heritage and we're going to get back to our culture, not a religion. I have to explain myself all the time with that. They ask me, what religion you in? I'm like, no, we're not a religion. This is who we are.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why Christianity doesn't even have much value to Christians. All right, it's just a social status. All right, and you can tell because it doesn't have laws. Right? There's no laws attached to Christianity. The only laws attached to it is whatever is attached to this kingdom. Whatever this kingdom says, right? Christianity flows with it, whether it be spiritual, political, or whatever. The Christian, the Christian church pushes the agenda for the most part politically. Along with the media. So there's really no real value to being a Christian. It's really just about a social status. So when you see somebody, oh, I'm at pastor such and such church. Well, my pastor such and such said this and such and such and that, such that. There's no cultural value in it. There's no real tenets to it. It's a religion and it's subject to change. Why? You can see over 51,000 different denominations. If it's not subject to change, how are you getting this many denominations out of it? When it's a cultural book. The Bible is a book about the culture of Israelites. Right? Oh yeah, and 501c3, Demi. Absolutely.
Right.
And that 501c3. So everything's attached to this government concerning Christianity, 501c3, political benchmarks, all those different things Christianity is attached to. So the big question that I would ask now is those brothers and sisters that identify as being Israelites, how do you identify as that and an Israelite at the same time? How is that valuable? How does that bring any value to you as an Israelite to identify as a religion only useful for social status within a kingdom that is falling? All right.
I have one more thing to say. I wish I could find this. But brother Benaiah Israel put a study online. And it happened, and it goes along with Spain and Portugal's slavery, when they had us in slavery. In 1442, if I'm not mistaken what it says, the Pope ordered the Order of Christ. The Order of Christ came over there in West Africa and put what they was called to do is catch us, put us on slave ships, and each one of them got paid 5% wages for doing this. And they was called the Order of Christ. Now, you mean to tell me that these Christians, it's the same ancestors that people run and go to church with today on every Sunday, gonna take us, they call themselves the Order of Christ, put us on slave ships, kill us, hang us, and you want to call yourself a Christian? Wow. Even in 1455, Pope Calagulus III made a decree that all sub-Saharan Africans shall be in perpetual slavery. This is the Christians, y'all. But you want to be an Israelite and call yourself that.
And Demi said something. She said, come out of her means all of her, not halfway.
Yes.
100. And because look, before you can consider coming out physically, your mind can't be attached to this place. Your mind cannot be attached to this place. Look, let me share another scripture. I'm going to read this. And this is saying basically the same thing that Demi said. It says, as Babylon has caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth. Ye that have escaped the sword, go away, stand not still. Remember the Most High afar off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. All right? This is not our stay. This is not our rest.
That's right.
Right? Come out of her, my people. Right? You can't be spiritually attached to this place. That's and right. Expect to physically be mentally or be able to come out of her.
That's right.
You're not going to want to leave. You're going to be like, oh man, we got an opportunity to leave, but I don't know if I should do it. I mean, I still got this, I got this or that happening over here. You're going to stay and you're going to face the destruction with this place. See what I'm saying? When the Most High call us out and it's time for us to leave, we got to be mentally prepared to do that. Like our forefathers were. What we keep, and I've used this analogy before, and I'm going to keep using it until people really understand. When our forefathers came here, it was like a wild lion being brought into captivity. Like a lion brought to the zoo, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when the lion brought to the zoo, that original lion that was brought out of the wilderness or out of the wild, that lion didn't want to be in that captivity. He knew he was in captivity, and if he had an opportunity to escape, he would take it, right? But what about the cubs born in that captivity? The cubs born in that captivity, they wouldn't know anything other than that captivity. They wouldn't be prepared to face the wild on their own. They would think that captivity is their home. And that's what's going on with our people here today. They think that their captivity is their home. We're actually coming up with we're doing more research on that. And when we do bring out the lesson on how we're leaving, I can say how we leaving, but it's not going to give you very much of an idea of the exact events that would unfold, right? All I can say, the Most High said, with a mighty hand and stretched out arms and with fury poured out. The same way that he did it in Egypt with plagues. All right? What happened in Egypt is the plagues caused the Egyptians with no choice but to let us go. So right now, even though they claim you can get a passport and you can go this way or that way, they're not going to allow our people to leave in mass number. They would not allow that. So,
but right now, it's the allure. Where is that? Hosea chapter 2. Hosea chapter 2. I'm gonna start reading at verse 13, unless you want to put it up on the screen.
Yeah, let me share. So Hosea chapter 2, verse what?
13. I'm gonna read 13 and 14. And this is what's going on now, which they slowing that down too. I really can't see it that good, but I can read it right here.
Hold on. Hosea chapter 2. Where's the book? Oh, there go the books. All right. Here we are. Hosea chapter 2, verse 13. You can't see it?
No, but I can read it out of my Bible right here.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. And this is starting at verse 13. And I will visit upon her the days of Balaam, wherein she burnt incense to them. Talking about these religions. She decked herself with her earrings and her jewels, and she went after her lover, forgot me, said the Lord. Verse 14. Therefore, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her a vineyard from thence and the valley of Anchor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there as in the days of her youth and as in the days when she came up out of the land of Egypt. So we see where this has been going on, especially in like since 2010, the alluring of Israel going back to West Africa, because what's going on over here? They killing us. We third class citizens. We can't get certain all kinds of stuff going on around the world and over here, mostly over here in America. How they basically keeping us down. So a lot of African Americans is getting lured away into the wilderness now, which like Banyo's talking about now, they slowing that up. They don't want all us to go at one time. So that's when the stress out arm gonna have to come out. Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 32
Absolutely.
to 38. Yeah.
What software is what? What software is that? Are you talking about, Sister Duror? What software? She asked me what software. I want to answer this question real quick before we close down. You asked me about what type of software I was using. Are you talking about the Bible? Oh, she may be talking about the eSword. It's called eSword. Let me go ahead and post the link for that. So I think it's a really great tool for everybody to have. You can get different translations. Contrary to popular belief, Israelites do use other translations and look into other translations to do their studies. You know, it's not just always the lost Bibles or or missing Bibles. You know, we study through other things too, other different translations. But there's the link for it right there. Hurry up and grab that link if you want to know where it's at. I'll post it 2 more times for those who may miss it. All right. Yeah, no problem, sister. All right. So with that being said, I would like to say everybody have a blessed evening. We got that lesson coming to y'all tomorrow. Replacement theology. It's going to be a good lesson. It's going to be very informative. It's going to be very in depth. It's only the first part, so you don't want to miss it, because that's going to lay the foundations on what the whole lesson is going to be about. And it's going to be set the precedence of the lesson also. So I want you guys to key in for that. It's going to be at 12 o'clock Pacific time. Eastern time is going to be 3 o'clock. And Central is going to be 2 o'clock. Make sure you tune in for that. With that being said, I want to say shalom and blessings to brothers and sisters out there. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Are you coming back on later?